right there. Hey, data lovers, and welcome to another episode of I Love Data Fridays here at the International Data Evaluation Center on the campuses of the Ohio State University. And ladies and gentlemen, I feel like it's been a while since we've talked to each other. Last time we did something was back at the Teacher Leader Institute back in June. And here we are in August for episode 39 of I Love Data Fridays. And this episode, we are going to be talking about the website updates for the 2019-20 school year. But hey, who's talking data to you? Well, you've got me, Jeff Breimer-Bashore, Director and Principal Investigator here at the International Data Evaluation Center. And what's on the schedule today? What data are we talking about? Well, first we're going to be talking about changes to the student gender question on our website. And then we're going to be going over we're going to be piloting a new hearing and recording sounds and words assessment this year, and we're going to be doing it for our random sample students. So we're going to give a quick overview of this new pilot. How to tell which sentences you and your teachers, or sentences and forms your teachers will be administering to their students, and then how the data need to be recorded on the website. And then finally, we're going to talk about a new on-demand report that is going to be available to teacher leaders. This is our student subgroup impact report. So, hey, let's talk a little data.
I love Data Friday!
All right, let's get into it here. So let's first talk about the changes to our student gender question. So this year, we're going to be changing the question to ask, according to the school record, what is the child's gender? And then we're going to be adding a third option to the options that teachers can select. So they will have the option to select male, female, or other, in case something else is listed in the student's record when it comes to gender. So what we do ask is that you please do not have teachers specifically ask the child about their gender identity. Just have the teacher refer to the school record to look up the child's gender. So let's just take a quick look at that on the website there. Let me pull up an example. So here we have some example data. I am going to pull up the background data for here. And you will see, where's the gender question? There you are. According to the school record, what is the child's gender, male, female, or other? All right, so your teachers will see that on there. And this will be, this changes for reading recovery, random sample, DLL, random sample for DLL. I didn't put tested, not instructed on there. T&I students as well, and our literacy lessons students. So all of our student groups have that change. All right, let's move on to piloting the new hearing and recording sounds and words assessment. So this year we will be testing out a new hearing and recording sounds and words assessment for random sample students only. You will administer the assessment each time, or you and your teachers will administer it each time you administer the observation survey. So at fall, mid-year, and year-end. So those 3 times a year. Each school will be assigned a specific sentence or form to use when testing out this new assessment. And then you will use the same assessment throughout the school year, or the same sentence throughout the school year. So if you got sentence A, the teacher will administer sentence A to her students at fall, mid-year, and year-end. You will also continue to administer the current hearing recording sounds and words and record it on the website as well for our random sample students. And then your teachers will notice that there will be 2 additional questions at fall, mid-year, and year-end on the website for this new pilot study. It'll simply ask, what's the child's score? The teacher will enter a value from 0 to 50, and then it'll ask which form did you use to assess this child, just to double check which assessment they actually used. So now, let's take a quick look at the website. Let's go over here. So I have an example random sample student here. So if you click on fall, you will see the 2 new questions 9 and 10 are the 2 new questions related to the pilot study. Let me just say that we did administer the tasks to enable that. Teachers can then enter their score between 0 and 50 in there, and then they can also select which form they used at the time that they assessed it. All right, and you will see the same questions at mid-year, right here, pilot. They all start with pilot study. And then finally, they will see it again at year end. Our 2 questions right there, questions 9 and 10. So there you go, our two new added questions for our pilot study. Now, let's get back to our slides here. So how do I know which form, or how do teachers know which forms they are going to use? So the website is going to tell them which sentence. And to figure out which sentence to use, all a teacher and even teacher leaders have to do is click on the View School List link on the student data page, and you will see the screen like an example like the screen below. So over on the left-hand side here, you see your Reading Recovery Schools doing random sample. Next to their name, it says Hearing and Recording Sounds and Words form, and it tells which form to use. So let's go and look at that on the website again. I'm going to go click on the View School List button. And teacher leaders, don't forget to share this video with your teachers. They can see this video and see it for themselves how to do this. All right, now this is a sample or test reading recovery site for us. I know there's a crazy amount of schools in here, but what's really important is on the left-hand side here is our column for our random sample schools. And then on that column is to list which forms. So Booker T. Washington School will be using Form A. Cassidy Elementary School will be using Form A. Colonial Hills will be using Form B. All right. So now so that's how your teachers know which form they will be using. Now, if teachers click on, say, I'm going to click on here for Cassidy Elementary School. If they click on it, it opens up a new tab, and it actually downloads a version of the form that they will be using. All right, so they can then either download it or print it off and have a copy of that form right there. You can also find copies of our form on our public website. So if you go to www.idecweb.us, oops, too many W's. Boop, there we go. Then you click on publications. You will see a folder on the publication page called Hearing, Recording, Sounds, and Words Pilot. It has all 5 of the forms up there, and it also has directions for administering and scoring the new hearing and recording sounds and words. So 2 places to get the forms. Your teachers can either click on the letter next to their school on the View School List page, or they can go to our public website and download the form from there. Oh, I just said that. Forms are available on the IDEC website. So at some point during the year, we're going to be, probably 3 points during the year, we're going to be collecting the scoring forms that your teachers are using. So we'll be collecting them at fall, mid-year, and year-end. And we're going to have teacher leaders collect the forms from teachers and then send them all to IDEC. The purpose is that our North American Trainers Group Committee wants to review the consistency of the scoring and see if there are any concerns about the use of the new forms when it comes to administration. So what's the procedure? We're working on it. I don't know it yet. We will let you know via e-newsletter or possibly another I Love Data Fridays episode, or probably the 2 in conjunction, about turning the forms in. We will probably look to collect the first set of forms in October or November, so there's no worry about sending them right away in September, though you will probably want to just make sure to advise teachers not to throw those forms away. If they do, then that it is what it is, and you just send us what you have. So we're publishing a new on-demand report on the IDEC website. It's called our Student Subgroup Impact On-Demand Report. And basically what you have here is a report that reports some information by school district. The school district names, they're blurred out in this example, but there's a school district name here. It's the black rows that denote the start of a school district. And the name of your site is at the top up here. It's just blurred out here on this example. But for each school district, starting with the rows in black, It reports data about reading recovery student subgroups. So it reports data about reading recovery African American students, ELL students, free and reduced lunch students, and Hispanic students. For each of these subgroups, it reports the number of students that were served. And then it reports out of all of the students served what percentage these students represent. And then we look over at discontinuing rate. So it gives a full, for example, for African American students, in this example, 100% of the students were discontinued when you look at just full program students. 60% were discontinued when you look at all students. Then we look at text reading level at entry, exit, and year end. And then finally, we have 3 columns for the OS total score at entry, exit, and year end. For each school district, we show data about reading recovery and if it's available, tested, not instructed students. So you can compare T&I African American students compared to reading recovery African American students and see if there's anything interesting that you can note about that. As I look at this sample data, there is. If you look at these African American students, let's go back. They're coming in at a lower text level, and they don't quite make as much growth. They get up to about a 12 on the text reading levels compared to 14.8, and they start lower on the OS total score and finish at a 502. So I don't know if they're not taking the lowest kids at the school. This is interesting. All right, so this reports it out by school district and will be available when the website opens for the brand new school year. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up our episode of I Love Data Fridays here. Hey, I want to say, let's cue that outro music. So, hey, thank you for watching another episode of I Love Data Fridays. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, all you have to do is go to our YouTube page, click the little subscribe button here, and you will get all of the messages about new episodes of I Love Data Fridays. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk data to you later.